Whoa. All right, what's up, Facebook family? I started to do a Facebook Live and something froze. I'm guessing it's flipping back and forth on my screen. So I'm going to start over just a little bit. Basically, what I do every year is I do a pretty extensive goal setting process. I do it for me and I also do it for my clients. And I wanted to show you guys the template that I use. I want to walk through it so that you could see what I do. You can set up your own template. You can create something like this on your own. If you actually want me to walk through it, I thought if there's enough interest and people are like, this is awesome, I'd love to walk through it. Maybe I could do like a group. I'll do like a group and walk everybody through it, but I'll give it to you right now. I'll just walk through what I do and I'll walk through why it's important. And you can see what I created. I built it on Excel, on Google Drive. And I'll show you, this is a template that I created that I start off with clients. And then we walk through it together. And then I hold them accountable based on this. So I'll just walk you through it. I think it's pretty cool. And that way you guys can check it out. You can look at it. You can see what this looks like. And if you want to do it, right on, like create your own. If you want to work with this with me, let me know. Like shoot some comments, say, hey, this would be awesome. I'd love to work through it. And I'll think about putting something together. So check it out. So I'm going to turn it like this because I flipped it last time and it froze. So can you guys see my screen okay? So let me see how I'm going to try flipping it again because I can't see when I'm talking through it. So let me try this. All right, can you guys see this okay? What's up, Jessica? All right, cool. So this is what I do is I start out with brainstorming. So I start off the first part of my goal setting with a lot of brainstorming, reviewing the prior year. Then I move into making sure that I'm setting SMART goals. So I just remind myself what SMART means. And then I identify where I'm at. So I go through identifying currently where I'm at. And again, I'm going to go through high level all this. And so don't feel overwhelmed. Just kind of check it out. Watch it for a second. You can always go back and watch this video later if you want to capture any of it to see what I'm doing. And then I really get focused on how I would do a specific one. So I'll show you how I actually apply it. This is more high level. It's not application. But I go through all these different areas, from intimate relationships to health and well-being, to friendships, to family, to work and career, to money and finance, environment and spirituality. So what I do is I like to start off with this. This is, if you're trying to grow your finances, I find one of the hardest parts is actually measuring things. So this is a kind of a worksheet where you start off and on a regular basis, you track your liabilities. And then you also track your assets. And so what happens is liabilities are anything that you owe. So credit cards, house, car, and I just put these in here. This is, again, the template that I use. It's not mine. And ideally, I recommend you check this on a monthly basis. This is more your assets. So basically cash, car, savings, IRA, 401k, whatever you have that's an asset. And then you subtract your assets from liabilities and it should give you a good snapshot of your net worth. What I found is if I do this every month, and I do this every month for my clients, then what happens is we're checking in with the accountability and making sure that our actual net worth is growing. Sometimes it can get tricky when your liabilities are growing, but your assets aren't. So this is really helpful with finance if you want to save. This is how I build out my plan for what I'm going to make. I start off first with looking at all the things that I want to do in the year. So any personal development, I take a look at any living expenses, anything I need to buy. I write all my savings down first. So when I'm doing my goal setting, I take a look at everything I want to save. And again, this isn't mine. This is just a template I'm showing you. And then I figure out my income sources. So if I had a salary or I needed to generate additional income, it shows me first why I want to make that. And then I actually have the areas that I would do it. So it helps me keep on track with what I want to make. So this is really kind of the template for figuring out the year in advance. And then I jump into my personal goals. When I set up personal goals, I like having a mission statement. And again, I've taken this from a number of things. Some of it's from Tony Robbins' Time of Your Life. Some of it's from other stuff that I've gotten. I just kind of collected things and then I created a spreadsheet that works really helpful. So I create a mission statement for my personal life and then I move into different things. So for example, one goal, if I wanted to grow, I wanted to go to 2 new countries. So I would list options. I would write the why. So the why is kind of the juice. The goal is the outcome. What's a specific outcome you want to achieve? The why is the juice that gives you juice on why you want to do it. And then the rituals is something that you could implement. It's like a habit that you implement on a regular basis. I find that this area is more the timeline. I set dates in place so I can start to look at it. And then any action items that I have to do. And then if I complete it. So if you look, I do the same thing for all the different areas. So if I want to read conscious, this was Last year I built, I took a couple of the ones I did, reconditioned subconscious patternings. And I didn't use all mine. I have my own in place. I'm just showing you how this works, right? So this is what I do for personal, and then I do the same thing for business, right? So that I can actually create it. So I just wanted to show you, this is what I use, how I set my business outcomes, how I set my personal outcomes, how I plan what I want to create the year, what I want to make, and how that lays out. I track the net worth every month to make sure that's in place. And the only other thing that I thought about adding this year is one for health, because I'm quite focused on my health, and I do a lot of tracking there, but I don't measure it on a board like this. So this thing's been really helpful. Scott, what's up, brother? I got cut off a minute ago. I was just showing my template and how I actually do all my goal setting, and I have a Google Drive that I work all this off of. So again, I just showed a brief screenshot so you guys can see kind of what I do and my process around it. For those of you that are very linear and want to like get it all out of your head and onto paper. And then let me show you a second what I focus on. So after I do this process, I look at this whole thing as an ongoing basis. What I do is I check in once a month and I update my net worth. I check in, I take these personal goals and I take the rituals. So I take just the rituals and I take those things and I actually post those up on the wall. And then I post any primary goals. So I get really excited about the goals and I post those up. So I take the goals that I can look at on a regular basis, and then I take the rituals, which are really the action items. And these things I like to put into my schedule. I like to actually plan these. They say is a goal is just a dream with a dream is just a goal with a deadline. So I take these and I put them into my calendar and I actually book them. So like for example, last year, this isn't mine again, it's a template, but my personal development was to attend a couple courses from Keith Cunningham, and I booked them. I spent 16 grand the first couple months of the year just booking courses because I wanted to enroll myself into those, and I did research and figured out what I wanted to do last year. So again, this is the very linear side. I do a lot of work around personal development. I do a lot of work around, call it grief, and a little bit more gentle work. This is very linear, very much like breakthrough, peak performance, go get shit done, And so I wanted to share what I do. How do you find the template? Shoot in the comments if go ahead and just shoot if you're interested. I'm gonna figure out if people want the template. I'll figure out how to get it to you. So just shoot your name in the comments right below, like, hey, I want access to it. Maybe two things. If you just want access to the template to play around with it, or if you actually wanted to walk through it, because when I walked through with my clients, a couple of them had questions, and I was able to answer them and kind of help them walk through it. So I may even do like a value-added course or something like that on this weekend, because most people, the first 3 weeks of the year, they set out strong, and most, I think it's something like 80 to 90% of New Year's resolutions fail after 3 weeks. So I thought about starting all this as 3 weeks starts. So if you guys are interested, just shoot in the comments, hey, I would love this, I'd like access to it, or I would like access and I'd like support on how this works. And if there's enough interest, I'll figure out something to make it work for you. But I wanted to share it with you. This is super helpful for me. I know it's a lot, so some people are like, this is a ton, a lot to go through. But if you want an amazing life, I feel like it takes time to go through and create it. Like what do you want to create? And things don't happen on a just flowing through space. I find that I really have to be an active participant in co-creating my life, and in order to do it, I have to sit down and feel into what I want to create, and move towards these things and create clear action plans to make these things happen. And in order to do something new this year, in order to break through, in order to have the best year you've ever had, you have to be willing to get outside your comfort zone. And a lot of times when you do this work, when you do this exercise and you realize the why behind it, it gives you the motivation to say, man, I'm willing to take this leap this year. And maybe it's not a bunch. Maybe you write them all down and you do one, or you do two. So this just helps you kind of get clear. So I hope this helped. I hope everybody has an awesome kick-ass 2018. And I wanted to show you this to help juice it if you needed something more linear. So wishing you an amazing day. And I saw Jessica, Scott, sounds like you guys are interested. I'll see kind of how many people have an interest in this and figure out a way to get it to you, and if I need to walk you through it. So have a great day.